Hey guys, what's up? You're listening to The Cafe with Carolyn. I'm your host, Carolyn, and today we have a special guest. Somebody that I love so much, somebody that means a lot to me, and someone that's going to help us and co host this episode. So, without further ado, everybody, welcome my best friend, Hope Dimanche. Hopey! Yay, I'm so happy that you're here.
Me too.
Welcome to the cafe,
Hello,
okay?
hello, hello.
So, guys, if you aren't familiar with what we talk about here, what we do here, the cafe is basically a place where we aim to better our mental health, adopt better practices for conversations, for just healthy mindsets and living. I give practical advice. We tackle spiritual topics because I'm a Christian and she gonna do Christian things here. Um, we have some amazing convos with some amazing guests, as you see right here. So basically, if you love self improvement, inspiration, growth, laughter, then you are in the right place. So, welcome to the cafe.
Welcome, welcome.
Literally. Also, I always forget this, but if you are not subscribed, subscribe. I mean, you would think it would be one of those obvious things, but it's not because I get listeners and like the listener to subscribe ratio is not, So
I totally get it.
mm-mm. So I'm gonna need you guys to, if you're listening, if you're under the sound of my voice, then hit follow or like there's a plus sign. Um, because it's free. All you gotta do is hit it,
It's just
you
click.
know?
That's all. That's it.
Click.
Just like
that's that's all you gotta do. Click. So if I have to remind you guys intermittently, then I will. But today, so my bestie is here because we got some girl chat to
sure do.
do. Um, Listen, it's a cafe. We have our metaphorical tea and our what kind of tea do you like? I actually don't know that.
I really like lemon tea. Lemon tea is like
Oh, okay.
I feel like there's
You're a
the
lemony.
right
Okay.
amount of sugar. It's just like it's really nice, really like
Yeah.
soothes the soul, super refreshing. Either that
Mm-hmm.
or like fresh peppermint tea.
Oh, peppermint tea. I like peppermint
Like
tea too.
straight from the plant
Yeah.
though. You know what I'm saying? Like you pick the leaves off the stem,
Oh.
throw them in some tea.
Mhm.
Literally bomb.
Yum. Okay. See, because my ghetto black self,
Not ghetto black self. First of all, everyone has their
I
own thing.
take the peppermint candy and I put it in my tea. Or I take candy canes, like pieces of candy cane, and I put it in
That's
my
lit.
tea.
I love
Because
that.
that's peppermint to me. But she meant like
Hey,
the actual, like the
we're
green
gonna level
leaf.
up. We're gonna level up. That's just what we're gonna level up. Like unless
Like that's why you're my best friend. You gotta help me level up.
I've always heard of like peppermint and like hot chocolate. That I've heard of.
Oh, I actually hate that. I do
Really?
not like
You'll stick
peppermint.
you'll
Yeah, I
stick
do not
peppermint in
like
some
that.
water.
Yeah, no, peppermint and water. Yeah.
But not in some milk and chocolate? Wow.
I think it's the milk component because, like, I can't do because I tried it, and you know how they sell.
Like peppermint
Is
chocolate.
it Hershey's? Yeah, the chocolate
Yeah.
peppermint. I try it every time, and every time I'm disappointed. I'm like, it looks good. It should be good, but my taste buds are like,
Yeah, I can't stand peppermint
girl,
chocolate. Like
no.
York peppermint patties is a no for me. Like I can't do it. It tastes like
I have a disdain for York
it's,
peppermint patties, but I try them. I eat them
it tastes
every
like
year.
toothpaste and chocolate. Like I just can't.
Yes, it tastes like toothpaste. It tastes like toothpaste and
I,
chocolate.
I'm so
Ew.
sorry.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? Something I used to try all the time that I knew I hated was peeps.
Peeps. Okay,
Yeah.
so love hate relationship with Peeps for me. I ain't gonna front.
Okay.
Like I don't like
Okay.
them because they're
Oh.
because they're like nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? And they have like a distinct taste,
Mhm.
but it's not one that like
Mhm.
deters me. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
so yeah, that's what I would say.
I haven't had a peep since I was old enough to make a choice not to have
I'm
them. So
crying.
the day that like life was like you're too old to be made an Easter basket,
That's crazy.
I just because I didn't like wasting them if somebody like got them for me,
Yeah.
but because I always used to eat the
You
head
gotta be
off,
polite, you know what I'm saying?
eat it
Like
at.
you just gotta, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you gotta be
Yeah.
polite. And yeah, that's just like one of the those many things in life that when when you grow up, you need to stop doing it because you don't like it, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Because
So I
when
didn't
you're an
like it.
adult, you have the choice to do that if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you know what else we have a choice to do when we're adults?
What
We have a choice to
we
heal.
do? Of
Okay?
course.
We have a choice to heal.
It's probably the
So
number one
one
thing
of
that
the
we should choose to
ways,
do every day. Okay.
no,
Our
literally
self-care.
strive to heal. So one of the ways that we definitely can heal is making sure that we are in environments and in friend groups and having conversations that help us do
Absolutely.
that. Um, because like I know for me, like growing up, it was easy to get caught up in girl chat or in conversations that weren't the kindest conversations. um, and did not produce the best fruit ever because like today's like culture of girl chat and like what that means can sometimes center more so on like the mean girl side versus on the heel girl
Absolutely.
side. And I can say now that we're both older. I mean, I'm 28, you're 25. And
She's like, just to make sure.
to make sure before I say it out loud, because I could have cut that and then added the age.
25.
But we're like 25. So we've both, I think, come to places where we crave and where we strive for like positive conversation, adult healing, and just not putting ourselves in situations where we're like purposely surrounded by women and or even in our out of our own mouths that like breed just like negativity and just like the whole this meanness thing that's so
Right.
cool. So I think about like Proverbs. I wrote it down, girl,
Because
because my memory be like, huh?
we'll be
Uh,
talking.
so I think about Proverbs 13:20, and guys, it says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." So what do you have to say about like just the way that we cultivate like girl chat in
I
general?
think you know, I think it's so important because we as women tend to compare ourselves to each other so much and so often. It's really, really like it can sometimes be hard to find those people who are willing to pour into you in that way. Either that
Mm,
or either people are either like you're trying to find those people that are being poured into you, or you're finding ways to be poured into you that's not the right way to be poured into. You know what I'm saying? So that could either be in the form of like lessening your value in the
mm,
midst of your friend group or like with your friends, or it can be trying to seek attention. You know what I'm saying? Or even going
mm,
as far as to intentionally devaluing others, or in the form
mm,
of like, embarrassment or like stuff like that, so that you can like, I guess, like feel better about yourself. And that's why it's so important to be able to like to have girl chat, to have that community, so that we're not like so that we're not seeking it like in ways like that aren't edifying to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But of course also
yeah.
like,
Mm,
you know, knowing our identity in Christ as well. You know what I'm saying? And like seeking after him for what it is that we need, having those gaps filled so that even if we are making up for something or we're in a season where we're not maybe getting it all the time, like, this very second, you know what I'm saying? Like we're still able to get it from the Lord, you know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yes. That is so good. I love how you like targeted like a lot of things that are common like
Yeah.
within like friend groups in particular because we're women like girl groups. And um I definitely think there was a time like in my life, and I'm comfortable speaking about it now because I've grown out of that, but I definitely sought attention like in my friend groups, and sometimes not in ways that I realized, but after the fact, like I'll be like,
Why did I do
why
that?
did I just do that?
Girl, if there's something that understands,
Like
it's me, okay? Like you already know. You
like
were with
why
me
did
in
I
that
just
season
do?
as well. You were with me in that season of my life.
Yeah.
So you know what that looked like for me as well. Like if anything, you were the one correcting me about that. So
Because I knew how it felt, and it because it comes from a place of like
yeah.
emptiness, and it's like you, especially if your our parental figures or whatever didn't really have the time to pour into us like emotionally that we needed. We that stuff, it bleeds,
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
bleeds, and so you find yourself when you're a young adult or even a teen seeking those things that your parents should have given to you, or that you don't know you can go to God to for.
Yeah.
um and because like I think mostly because for me, like, we believe lies about our value, we believe lies about our place in
Yeah.
the world, and then we feel like we have to make up for our own for what we think that we
Yeah.
lack, you know so I found myself doing that a lot, like in high
Right.
school, because and at the time, of course, I didn't know I was doing
Yeah.
it.
Of course.
But you grow up and you're like, I think I was doing that because I needed attention. Like I needed, you know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
kind of
Um,
what is it? Well, I'll call it the bully theory. I don't think that this is actually like like a thing, but like how bullies make fun of other people because they're being bullied at home. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're being
right,
bullied at home,
right.
you'll tend to bully other kids at school. If you're being neglected at home, you'll tend to like act up in school. Like
Think that,
you'll find ways to get attention in other ways, in other areas, in other spaces, for people, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's like a negative
A
pour
vicious
in type of thing.
cycle.
So yeah, and I think it's just important for us to address because um now that I know where my value is, and now that I know that I have value, I don't need validation in a lot of the ways that I sought it
Right.
before. Um, so I mean, thank God, but because that was
New
like
bitterness,
that
you are
was rough.
healed.
Okay, listen, we are in a healing cycle
Yes,
right now
amen.
instead of a trauma cycle. So yeah, and it's just important for us to be able to look at ourselves and say, hey, why did I do that? Or why was that important for me to say? Or why was that important for me to point out? And I think for me, I was thinking about, like, I was just telling God, like, I want to mature and have different responses than I did in the past. And sometimes you find yourself having those different responses without even realizing that you grew in that area. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wait, I would have cried at that, or I would have had a meltdown
Right,
at
right.
that like 2 years ago. So it's nice to grow without knowing sometimes because you surprise yourself. Um, but yeah, like that. And for me, like, a really big thing for me was I wasn't the most empathetic person because I didn't receive a lot of empathy growing up. So I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know how it felt. Like I didn't know that was like um a, what do you call, like a social necessity or a social skill.
Was like having the ability to like relax sometimes.
Cuz like, I mean, I didn't know that like people needed that much empathy, like even during like little things. I thought like how I saw things, because I saw it and it was like pure, I thought that was enough. Like I thought, because I thought good intentions was enough,
Yeah.
basically. And so I didn't realize that it wasn't until it wasn't. And I was like, but
Like
wait,
the lesson to learn.
but I'm glad I learned it, because now within me learning how to be more vulnerable, I learned the importance of empathy.
Absolutely.
Um, and that reflects, I think, I mean, you're my friend, so you could tell me, but I think that reflects in now the difference in how I have conversation versus before. Like before, I don't think I left a lot of people room, number one, to just like feel without me thinking I had to fix it or have like some type of solution for it. Like, no, but if you do it this way, or if you like, just, I just wanted to help. I was like, I just want to
Yeah, yeah,
help.
yeah. No,
Um,
seriously.
you know,
Yeah.
um, but I learned like it's not my job to help. Sometimes it's my job. My presence is enough sometimes. Like I can just be here and be quiet and let them have, if they want to freak out, they can freak out. And if they
Correct.
want, and if they want my help or want my assistance, number one, ask. And number two, you know, I can give it to him if I have it. And if I don't, I don't have to have anything I don't have.
One thing I
Um,
will say is that
that was a
the
major
one thing I
thing.
will say is that, like, I've expressed to you on multiple occasions how proud I am of you for that. Like, for the vulnerability journey that you've been on, and like how well you have been able to, like, just like empathize with me personally, you know what I'm saying? And like different situations that I've
Oh,
struggled with and stuff like that. Now you're somebody, well, not that you weren't before, but like I know, especially with like how much our friendship has grown over the years, like I look forward to being able to call you whenever I'm like struggling with something, or like I really need to like make a decision but I don't know what to do, or I just need like some kind of like, I just need to be pointed in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that number one, you're willing to listen to me, number two, you're willing to tell me if I'm being crazy or not. And then number three, because you understand where I'm coming from, you're able to point me in the right direction that won't lead me to, you know, like self destruction or like anything like that, because you love me. And so, but also because you've been on this, like, because you've been on this journey of like intentionally being willing to like be vulnerable with people that you love. So I am proud of you for that. And I think that there are so many women who are like in this day and age don't necessarily feel like they
mm,
have the space or the capacity to do that. You know what I'm saying? To really
mm,
be willing to like to sit and say like, okay, God, like 99% of the time I'm like on go. Like 99% of the time
mm.
I'm like fighting for other people, or I have to be the one that's strong, or like, just X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third. But then
Literally.
but then like unfortunately sometimes it ends up being in a position, you end up being in a position where you're forced to like to take a chill pill, to like sit down and be vulnerable with people. And so in those moments
Yeah.
it's even scarier because you're like, I don't even know how I feel, you know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to like
Right.
figure it out yourself. But I think it's really important in those moments to know who your community is, know who's willing to speak life into you, know who knows you well enough so that at the end of the day those people can lead you in the direction that you need to go in, and you're not like, just out here flailing. You know what I'm saying? Like
So
it kind of
literally.
reminds me of that one Tyler Perry um play clip that like goes viral like once every couple of years of you know it's the one where Medea is talking about the tree and relationships, right? Some people are
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
branches, some people are roots. And
Mhm.
so whenever
Mhm.
you have those moments where you do need to be vulnerable, you're going to need to lean on your roots. Okay, you can't be like, at the end of the day, when it's coldest is when the tree is most vulnerable. Okay, because it's everything
Yeah.
and it's like bringing it inside, but it relies on its roots in order to be able to stay standing, to be able to get its nutrients, to be able to
Right.
get what it needs. So we need to find what who our roots are out here. You know what I'm saying? We need to know who's
Yeah.
here, like who's really rooting for us, so that we can be healthier people.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
It's like who can help us, who's assigned to us, like just on this journey to help us heal and help us become better people so that we can ultimately be who God created us to be
yeah,
and fulfill whatever purpose he has for us, because that's who I want in my life.
absolutely.
And I feel like, and honestly, like I feel like we have gotten there. Like I told you, I don't remember like when this was, but I remember when I realized that you were a person that I felt like I was assigned to and that you were assigned to me. And it wasn't just because we like each other's hair or
Yeah,
nails, or it was
I feel like
beyond
barely
like
got done,
this
by the way. Like we,
girly time. But when you do, they
man,
pop.
oh
But
my
when you
god.
do, so like, but I feel that you're called to me, and I feel like I'm called to you, and I feel like I'm just so grateful for the ways that we've grown together and the ways that you've helped me grow and mature, and you call the better part out of me. And I feel that's what friendships should look like. Like certain friendships, sure, we might be somebody else's anchor and might be assigned to like, let me help you. But like, but I feel like friendships evolve and they grow and they change. And the ones that are roots, we help each other. Like
Absolutely.
we call the best out of each other. And I feel like that's something you certainly do for me. And I'm you do, and I'm so grateful that you're my friend. Like I'm beyond
I don't know when this turned into a love sesh, but I love it.
Listen, we're demonstrating like
Okay.
healthy girl
Yes,
love, right?
absolutely.
Um, because it's so easy to get into this thing that you only love your friends when it's easy,
Right. Or when they have something to give you.
or when they have something to give you. Right. And that's not true friendship, because life isn't like that. And you need people that are there when stuff gets hard, like what you said in that winter season. And I think what Solomon described in Ecclesiastes as like a night
Yeah.
season. You need friends that are there that got some flashlights, some lanterns. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, they like it's nighttime, but we gonna see today. Like they got
Yes.
your back.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's really important, and to help cultivate environments that are kind, that are loving, that speak life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, like I even just went through a situation with a friend where like I had to like continuously remind her like, hey, I'm here with you. Like I'm not leaving. Like, I love you so much. Like, yes, this is a hard time, but like, you know, you need community right now. And so it's unfortunate that so
Right.
many people, whenever they go through certain situations, people just leave them. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you need people, you need friends, you need family that are going to stand with you in adversity. I think, oh my gosh, what is that Bible verse that talks about brotherhood? Like, what is it? It's like,
A brother,
it's like,
a friend stands closer than a
yeah, like
brother.
it's something like that. But it talks about how like you have a really good friend when you have a brother that stands with you in the midst of adversity, basically. Like, and
Yeah.
then I know Jesus talks about like it's like the greatest friendship is one who lays their life down for another. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like,
their friend.
and so I
Yeah.
wish I knew what those scripture references was, but it's like, but it's fine.
I
You
got
got it.
you.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Hold
Because I know
on.
that I'm pretty sure the first one is in Proverbs. The second one I think is in John or Matthew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the first one is Proverbs 18:24. A friend who sticks closer than a brother. There is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And yeah, here it is. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a
Yeah.
brother. Yeah. And I like how it says a man of many companions, because I think we all go through this thing where we think if we have so many people
Yeah.
around us that they all of are our friends. The number of people, first of all, and I heard it a lot when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm starting to understand the number of people that are around you do not equate to the number of friends that you
Correct.
have.
Absolutely.
Period. It does not. And the number will get shorter and shorter as you grow up, because I think there are certain values and certain things and certain wisdoms and even characteristics that you develop and have that not everyone is meant to walk with
Yeah.
you um, when you develop those things, but also not everybody's your friend. So yeah, that, and it's Bible. God knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about. A man of many companions may come to
Yeah.
ruin. And they're just companions. They're just people that are around because you just have them around just to be
Just
around.
because, I like
Just
having people
cause.
around me, you know what I'm saying? But who is with you? You know what I'm saying? Like you have
Exactly.
people around you, but who is
Exactly.
with you? You know?
For real. Who is like with
Absolutely.
you? Um, and then John 15:13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his
Yeah.
friends. And yeah, cause I'm actually gonna talk about that like later on too, because I learned a big lesson
Yeah.
about that. But I'm gonna save it for later.
That's
But
nice.
yeah,
Can't wait.
like it's just really important, guys. Like making sure that your friendships are genuine
Yeah.
and tested, because they will be tested whether we ask for them or
Absolutely. They'll
not.
be
To be
tested.
tested. Whoa. But after it all, it's
Yeah.
worth it. It really is. Um, and I think another thing that's worth it is, so for this next segment, I want to ask you. There are some 2024 food trends, and I want to know whether you think they're worth trying or
Okay.
not. Actually, I'm going to describe them, and then if you would try it, I want you to say dish it, and if you wouldn't try it, I want you to say rip
Okay.
it. So,
I'm here for it. You know I
so
love
okay,
food, so like
I know that's why
I'm
this is why this is.
willing to try most
I was
things.
like, I know I want to play a game with my friend. So yeah, so this new game is called
Dish it or rip
Dish It
it.
or Rip It.
I'm ready.
Um, Give me a second because I'm excited too. Because do you remember like there was a food trend um with the cronut, and then there was a food trend where like everything was like black.
I think so. I think I remember that.
Like ice cream was black, bread was black. It was like this
It was black.
goth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything was just
Crazy.
black, and I'm like,
You know?
I don't know. I didn't really like understand it like that. I'm like, okay. All right. So the first dish it or rip it item, it's called tomato ice toast. So yeah, it is weird. It is as weird as it sounds. So basically, they're taking tomatoes, right? And they are treating the tomato like shaved
I think
ice.
that's
And they're shaving it over like
yeah.
cheese and putting olive oil on it and making it like this, I guess, a deconstructed Italian meal. But they're also using different types of veggies. So um yeah, shaved ice veggies over cheese, and then putting the cheese over like a big piece of toast. Dish it or rip it.
I'm gonna have to rip it. I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes
Okay.
already. The only time I'll eat tomatoes like in its true form is like sandwich
Uh-huh.
or in like a salad or something. So like
Okay.
having it be like deconstructed like that, like even those
Uh-huh.
like caprese salads, I would love to be able to try them one day, but like I can't all
Mhm.
the way get past the tomato part. So
My mom makes really good caprese.
mm,
Like she does. You're
I gotta,
like,
like, I
I
just
feel
have to try
it.
it. Like, I want to one day, and I will get there. I'm
Mhm.
sure. Today's not the.
Or what if it's like carrots, like shaved carrots?
I don't think I can get with the shaved frozen vegetables. Like, it's in my mind. If I'm expecting something sweet and I like am eating a vegetable instead, like my mind just
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to get past that. Like, I can already kind of like taste it, like and like see
Ew.
it. I can already kind of like taste it and like see it happening, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could get down.
I'm sorry. She's like, I
I'm gonna
can't
have
get
to
with
rip
it. All right.
it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. So this one to me it's not new at all, but I think what they're doing with it is it's a reinvention
A recreation. Recreation.
of
Okay.
yeah, which I feel like nowadays everything is.
Yeah.
Um so the chamoy pickle, but they take a dill pickle, soak it in a combo of chamoy, sweet and sour candy powder, and tahine. And then it's wrapped in a fruit roll up and stuffed with Takis.
Okay. I've seen both of these food trends before. Here's my thing, right? Okay, so here's my thing. I feel like I genuinely am willing to try just about anything. Like,
Mm,
so I'd be willing to try the tomato thing, right? I'd be
okay.
willing to try
Okay.
the tahine thing that you just mentioned.
Uh-huh.
But both of those I would rip. I'm not even gonna front. Like, just like
She's
because
like, both of them are enough.
it's too much going on. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever like
Okay.
take a bite
Yeah.
into your food and like you get like this weird like feeling on the back of your jaw? Like
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
that
10.
would be crazy biting into whatever you just described just
She said whatever that thing
now. And it was
was.
way
Yeah.
too much to bear. I could not do it. Like but like I said, I'm
Yeah.
willing to try
Like
anything once, but like that sounds like a lot.
I mean, a pickle with already got chamoy, sweet and sour candy, tahini, and then wrapped in a fruit roll up that's stuffed with
That's
Takis.
how
Like,
that sounds like a royal invitation to the toilet. Like I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like
no, toilet is lighting up. Okay, Fourth of toilet
it
live.
would
Okay,
it
uh,
would be all access, full on like invitation. What like party all night? Me and toilet just
me and toilet is hilarious. So another one that stood out to me was scrambled pancakes. So basically, all you do is you take the pancake and then you scramble it like eggs.
okay. That's not entirely unusual to me. I would dish it. Like it just what it's here's what it's giving. It's giving I don't know how to flip a pancake. Like that's what it's giving.
That's what I said. All it sounds like is someone that doesn't know what they're
Right.
doing. Like,
You're over here just scrambling a pancake. Come on.
and it messed up, so you just ate it
Okay, like
anyway.
let's do better, Carrie. Like we can flip this, okay? Like come on now.
But I feel like that would still talk like my name a little bit. I can make pancakes.
Not intentional. Let's go with Shannon.
I can make really good. First of all, that reminds me, my brother and his best friend when they were they were first starting high school, couldn't cook a lick. But I think I was away a weekend or something because I used to make like pancakes for
Oh
them
yeah.
or whatever. And they tried to make pancakes. First of all, the pancakes were not done. They were this thick and they both got sick afterwards. And I'm like, that's disgusting that y'all still decided to eat them.
That's that's crazy. That's cool. I'm so sorry.
Like, when I've never had an undone pancake
I
in my life. So to me, that's a
oh
talent
my
to
god.
be able to make an undone
That's crazy.
pancake.
That's actually wild. Like, no, we need to do this.
Okay, I feel like this one you may like. So it's ramen. carbonara, and basically you toss the ramen in the stove with heavy cream and egg and make it like carbonara.
Okay, I would dish it. I would dish it.
Mm,
I think that
mm-hmm,
oh my gosh, I remember like this one ramen that like, I used to have like as a kid. I think I only had it maybe like twice, and I think it actually is like a ramen, like a particular ramen mix. But it was like
mm-hmm,
ramen noodles, but then it had like cheese in it. I think it had like some kind of cheese
mm-hmm,
thing. My siblings made
mm-hmm,
it like all the time, but after we
mm.
moved, they didn't make it as often anymore. So like, but I remember that being good. So I feel like the ramen carbonara would be good too.
Yeah, and I feel like certain like foods are just they're fun to learn and they're fun to make
Absolutely.
and they're just fun to like experience because it's like
This is
especially
different.
if you made it like with your own
Right.
hands.
Like I tried escargot one time. It actually wasn't that bad. It was
Same,
not. Like I was like,
same.
oh okay. Like they made it
Yeah.
seem like I'm not even gonna make it. I'm not even gonna say what they made it seem like because because that's just gross, and I want to maintain my appetite for the remainder of the afternoon.
I'm crying.
But you know, I was pleasantly surprised. I was very happy to have tried the escargot.
It's pretty good
It
though.
is
Like all it is well when I had it, I just tasted butter and garlic. It
right.
was good to me.
I was like, oh, okay, they did their thing with this one. All right.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, France did they big one. I like this. So I will make it to Paris one day because you know that's
Yes, those
my
ultimate goals.
I cannot wait. So listen, learning to make different things is fun. And I think something else that isn't fun while you're learning to do it, but fun after you've learned your lesson is
Yes,
friendship, right?
absolutely.
Friendship. So, something that I wanted to talk about was, what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned either during our friendship or just in general, but um, one of the biggest lessons about friendship.
I'd probably say two things.
Hmm.
I'll say the second one, but then I'll say the first one. So the second one is boundaries. I've never met anybody that maintains their boundaries as such as Carolyn. Okay.
No, I didn't expect you to say that at all.
The first one you'll probably expect, but this one I'm like, oh, okay. But no, like you are very very good at maintaining your boundaries. Like you have like
Wow, thank
you like
you.
even to the point where like in your vulnerability journey like you still been intentional about making sure that like whoever you do choose to let in like they not that you're keeping them at an arm's distance but like you're stewarding your walk with that person in like a respectful manner, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying, in a way that honors you and honors
mm,
them. um
mm,
and like even for me like you've consistently consistently encouraged me to like to maintain boundaries, to create boundaries and to maintain them. And have I listened all the way over the years? No. I'm gonna say that right now.
uh, no.
I'm gonna say that right now. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still learning. But of course it's just because
Listen,
of like,
me
the
too.
person that I am. You know what I'm saying? Like but boundaries is absolutely like something that I've learned about that I've learned about in friendships with you. The number one way though is loyalty. That
Mm,
is probably like I feel like for both of us throughout our lives we've been through like just friendships that have hurt us, friendships that we thought we were gonna like I'm even I'm thinking back to
wow.
right like I'm thinking back to like elementary school, you know what I'm saying, like that I had
Uh-huh.
that I thought were gonna be best friends for life, you know what I'm saying, and like whenever those friendships ended, like in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, like it was just like dang like it kind of it seemed like that loyalty was like lacking a bit, or it was contingent on location, or it was contingent on
Mm.
convenience. It was contingent on,
Ciao.
like, on your capacity at the time, right? Like,
Right,
but
right,
learning
right.
about loyalty in my friendship with you, like, you moved like what, 5 times throughout the course of our friendship, like, and throughout that whole time, like, I've always, I feel like not only because the Lord gave me a grace, like gave us a grace for each other, but
Hmm.
because I really do truly love you. Like, we really are intentional about our friendship. Like, we've been able to be loyal with each other and concerning each other because of our friendship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's been refreshing, you know, to say the least, to be able to say, like, wow, I have a friend that's like still so close to me, like my best friend, who, like, yes, she's moved, I've moved, like, we're literally across the country right now. Like, I'm not going to say on two different coasts, but we're definitely in two different time zones.
yeah.
But
It's basically two
right,
different coasts.
right. But like, all in all, like, loyalty is something that I absolutely like, that I've definitely learned in our friendship, because we have gone through the hard times. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have gone through times where we could have just really legitimately dropped each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even
Yeah,
necessarily in a way where it's like, oh, you did this to me, you offended me, I'm going to drop you. No,
right.
even in like simply in the manner of like, wow, we're adults, I don't have the capacity for this friendship anymore, so it's just going to kind of trickle off. Like, no, we were very, very, like, we were very intentional about, like, keeping in contact, making sure that we, like, continue to love one another, like, even if we were on like different sides of the coast and stuff. Like, at one point I was in Virginia, you're in Texas, now I'm in Texas, you're in
I
Virginia,
know.
okay? Like, and it's
Life is so
and like,
funny.
you were back in Philly for a little bit. Like, I was in Virginia for a hot minute. Like, you were the one that did a lot of the moving, but still, like, it was all of it together.
I
You were in
know.
North Carolina. Like, it was literally just like a lot, but
Yeah,
like, we were all like, we were still able to to maintain that loyalty to each other. And I would
yeah.
say that that's the number one thing that I learned about.
I love that. Yeah, those are yeah, yeah. And I'm working. I'm still like very much everything. With me is a work in progress. So it was really nice. Everything. I I mean, think about it. If God Himself said He has to continue to work on us, what do we got to
Absolutely.
do?
So pearly gates, or the ones that are on
Okay.
fire, whichever ones, you
Oh God, darn, or on fire is crazy. But yeah, but yeah. Thank you for saying that, because boundaries is something that I definitely. It's just something that I keep in the forefront of my mind. Because I want first it started because I learned I wasn't the best at respecting other people's boundaries, and not on purpose, but there were just things that I didn't have the tools to know. And so I said I want to become better at respecting other people's boundaries, and then that led to me setting my own and not being afraid to advocate for them.
absolutely,
um, Even though I am, every time I do advocate for myself in any way, I'm always afraid to
yeah,
do it. But is I think about the cost between fear and what letting down that boundary will have, the impact it'll have on me mentally or
hmm
emotionally. And the impact always wins over the fear, because I'm like, so, but thank you for saying that, because that means a lot to me.
whenever I was thinking about
Um
it earlier, I was like, loyalty was what came up first, but like, I didn't think to say boundaries until like literally right now. So I think that was Holy Spirit. We'll credit that one to Holy
yeah,
Spirit.
that was yeah, that was really beautiful. I think the one of the greatest lessons I've learned from having the absolute pleasure of being your friend is um listening, actively listening, and not just like being like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, like I love that you actively listen, and that's something that I learned how to do from our friendship in a practical way, because it's like we all, I want to be a good
Right.
listener, but you make it so much easier to do it practically, because when we engage in like deep conversation or vulnerable conversation, I feel heard because of the way you listen. Like you don't just, you're not like, yeah,
Mm.
right, uh-huh, whoa, like you're not
Yeah.
you're not doing that. You're like, so how did that impact you? Or
Mhm.
like, you want to dig into that? Or like, you're a really good active listener. And I think that just comes from your empathetic nature, and kind of how like what we talked about before, you know what it's like to not be listened to. And so I think you're intentional about making sure other people feel heard by you, and they do. You're a really, really good active listener, and that's something that many people need. um and something that I'm grateful to have you be like, such um like such a, the word is not coming to me, but uh, a person on I can't
Example.
think of the word. An example. I'm like, it's a
Like
word, and then
inspiration. Example. Like is that what it?
an inspirational example, baby. There you go.
I love it. I love
Yeah, an example. So yeah, and you know something that, and a lesson about friendship too. Um, Another one that I learned, I would say it falls in the vein of loyalty. So I think, but it's not loyalty; it's perseverance.
Yeah.
Um, and basically for all the reasons you said. But I think you're someone that whenever I feel like, because like you said, like I have moved a lot, and in my life there hasn't always been opportunities for me to grow roots
Mhm.
in like physical locations, but also in people's hearts. So um that's not something that I take for granted, and I do appreciate and fully understand the weight of friendships like ours, that we choose our
Yeah.
friendship. And I think that's just so profound within itself, because like you said, we don't have
Yeah.
to. And I love that we do, though. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate traveling, you like making like my birthday an important thing for you to be a part of is super
I was
spectacular.
literally watching the
And
video of that yesterday. Yeah, I was
really, oh, yeah,
showing someone,
I
and I was like, I surprised my best friend for her birthday. This is her reaction.
yeah, I cried. It was so, I cried like a freaking
I was
baby,
like, she
because
had no idea I was coming. Like,
you could have told me in a million years that Hope would have been here for my birthday. You couldn't have to. And like, I was planning to have my birthday like by
yeah.
myself. Like, I'm like, I was like, it's the first time for everything.
Like, she having no darn birthday.
Psyching myself out. Then I came downstairs and my friend was right there, and I thought it was a shadow. I'm like, I was, man, that will go down like top 5 birthday
I
surprises for
love
me.
it. I don't
Seriously.
think y'all understand. I was setting
So
it up for months, okay? Like for months.
I had no
I
idea.
was planning on surprising Carolyn for her birthday, and for months she had no idea. I was over here gassing it, like, man, I wish I could be there. Send me pictures. Like, I can't.
To the day of, though, like,
Like, make sure that you send me your outfit and
she had me
FaceTime me when you're getting
fooled.
dressed. Like, tell me where you are. Like,
Yeah, she had me
lo and
completely
behold, I was
fooled.
gonna be there. Okay, like,
Man, that was so decent, yo.
I
I
love
love
it
that. Thank
too.
you
That
for
was an
doing that
amazing
for
week.
me.
That was a good couple weeks actually.
Oh yeah, that was good. So we're gonna end it here, y'all. Proverbs 27:9 says, "Sweet friendships refresh the soul, and awaken our hearts with joy." And that's something that you do for me. You awaken my heart with joy, and you refresh my soul, friend. So, thank you so much for visiting the cafe and having this incredible conversation about friendship and what I feel like intentional girlhood or
Yeah.
womanhood looks like. One of the ways that it looks, because it can look like many things, but I like the way ours look for
I
us.
love it too. It's
And yeah,
I love being part of the
so
cafe.
thank
It's
you guys.
always an honor to be here at, like, per usual. Like I said, I'm gonna be a regular. Okay, y'all gonna see me again and again and again.
Period.
Okay.
And again, that was a little Texan accent, honey. She said, and again,
We're gonna relocate.
yeehaw.
Okay.
Yo. But all right, guys, first of all, thanks so much. It's been 53 minutes, 54 now. So if you're still listening, you definitely have to subscribe. If you're still watching, definitely subscribe. Share this with your friends, your aunts, your uncles, um, everybody. Let make it rain in the cafe on them. And yeah, and if it's somebody that you wanna I don't know, share this and they are having a hard time with friends or something like that. Or maybe they're not. Maybe you just want to give them a little advice through us. Share this with them. And maybe one day we'll do like a Q&A or something, or a live or something like that. But friendships should be sweet to the soul, and true friendships last through the winter nights, okay? So subscribe, share, and thank y'all so much for tuning in. And thank you once again, Hopi. I love
I
you.
love you. Bye, guys.
Bye.